Welcome to Vlogmas day number 21, 4 days to Christmas. Ladies, Jedi men and droids of all ages, today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Hello, legends of the Outer Rim. Today we're going to be reviewing The Rise of Skywalker. It is quite good, guys, to be honest. There's a lot of mixed reviews online, really bad scores on things like Rotten Tomatoes. Lots of people were disillusioned after they saw The Last Jedi. I personally like The Last Jedi, but I understand why people don't like it. This review as well, though, guys, is going to be spoiler free, so I'm not going to put any spoilers in. I'm not going to ruin anything for you. I'm not going to tell you if the guy who owned this comes back. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you if the guy that owned this comes back. I'm not going to tell you anything like that. There's no spoilers in this review, alright? So, basically, guys, it's hard to review this without spoilers because most of my issues with the film were about plot or cameos, or they're about things that I personally would have liked to have seen. So, to be honest with you, it's quite hard to review the negative points, but I want to start with the bad and then we'll go on to the good. So there was some cameos I wanted which didn't happen. There was some people in it that I didn't want to see. There were some people I wanted to see that weren't there, but I don't want to really spoil it for you, so that's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah, for me, the storyline was actually really good, especially if you compare it to The Last Jedi. It put wrong a lot of the issues with The Last Jedi. So many of the little plot holes in The Last Jedi and stuff got fixed immediately in this film, and I mean from the off. Another thing I want to say, courtesy of Cody Rhodes, because he reviewed it on Twitter, it is fast-paced. It is non-stop. It's just literally constant. It's just like bang, 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 bang. And I love that. I think most Star Wars films are quite fast-paced. They've got different things going on, different battles, different fights at different times. I think it's one of the reasons that Revenge of the Sith is one of my favourites, because Revenge of the Sith is just non-stop action. It's like bang, 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 bang. It's constant, it's happening, it's exciting to watch, you know. But this film had, for me, it was a very weird film because it was it had some sort of shades of Revenge of the Sith, and then it had some sort of shades of Return of the Jedi. It was very, very odd in that. It was good though. It was good, and I did enjoy it. Obviously, I'm a massive Star Wars fan, as you all know. If you didn't know before watching this video, you've seen I've got at least 3 lightsabers. So I like Star Wars a little bit. I think I've got about 15, 20 lightsabers actually, but yeah, it's irrelevant. The film's good. It's funny, and it's funnier than probably any other Star Wars film, I would say. It's probably it's got the most funny moments. C-3PO. Let's just talk about C-3PO really quick without spoilers. He is so funny in this film. Absolutely genius. The thing I want to say as well, again, without trying to spoil stuff, C-3PO being a droid without the sort of vocal tonality and stuff that humans have to express their emotions. So like a human actor could be like, I'm sad, and you lower the tone and that of your voice and you speak more slowly. Or you can be excited like, oh my god, I can't wait, I've just seen a Death Star. Like that sort of tonality and pace. C-3PO doesn't really have that in his vocal capacity being a droid. So for C-3PO to be able to portray emotions and play with your emotions while you watch it at home, especially if you're a massive Star Wars fan like me, it's really good, and I genuinely want to commend the film for that. Another thing I want to commend the film for is Chewbacca. Now, oh my days, I think after this film, I always liked Chewbacca. I've never had some sort of beef with a Wookiee. All right, I think he's probably entered from this film my top sort of 10 characters. Maybe that's a video we'll do in the future, my top 10 Star Wars characters. If people want to see that, let us know in the comments below or on Twitter or something. At Link Gooden, get following. But yeah, if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it if I do make it. But if people want to see it, if a few people say they want it, I'll do it. But yeah, I think Chewbacca's entered my top 10 just based off this film alone. I've always liked him, but this film, he had dimensions that he's not had before, and I realised how much I like Chewbacca at the moment in this film, and I don't want to like put spoilers in, but there was a moment when I cared about Chewbacca more than I've ever cared about Chewbacca, and that for me really sort of shows how good. And again, Chewbacca's similar to C-3PO. It's not an easy thing to portray because facial emotions very difficult on Chewbacca. Body language you can do, and they do it brilliantly. And the noises you can. There's a bit of tonality in the sort of Chewbacca like noises, but I don't know. That's a bad impression, but I don't know how they do it so well, and that's something I do want to commend them for, because I think us Star Wars fans spend a lot of time talking about the things we don't like, and we don't focus on the things that are done well. Another thing I want to mention is the saber battles. For me, are the best outside of the prequel trilogy. I think for me, Revenge of the Sith has the best saber battles, or maybe number one, just because of how good Liam Neeson is. I don't know, but yeah, it's really, really good. I enjoyed Revenge of the Sith for the saber battles, and this has got some very Revenge of the Sith-like saber battles in the finesse and the production values and the locations. I think it's always interesting when the saber battles aren't just in another Sith room, because it's been done so many times. You know, you've got Obi versus Vader, and Luke versus Vader, and Luke versus Vader again, and you got all these battles in like throne room, Death Star, Star Destroyer type environments. That for me, I love it when they take the battles into like more random places, like Mustafar, as you see in Revenge of the Sith. Great battle. So yeah, for me, it's a very good film, and the production, as you expect from Star Wars, like when the ships are battling and stuff, it's incredible. There's some good cameos from little ships, so do watch that section as carefully as you can, especially if you're a big fan. You will notice the odd ship you don't expect to see. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil stuff for people, because I know it's only just come out still, and a lot of people have been working and stuff. If people want as well, maybe we'll do a video in like a few weeks, after it's been out a few weeks, where we just talk about everything, spoilers included, and sort of go through what I would change. Maybe if that's what people want to see, again, let us know down there or in my Twitter @LinkGooding. But yeah, the film is very fast paced. The action is very good. The production of things is immense. I didn't notice any mistakes in the production from like a visual standpoint. From a visual standpoint, it was terrific. Like the explosions, the lightsabers, the noises. A few people have criticised the musical score. Now, for me, it probably does have the worst music of any of the Star Wars films. I don't feel they utilise music as much as they should have or could have, but it's still good. Do you know what I mean? It's still a fantastic orchestral score, so I don't really want to hold that against it, because the other ones are so good. Like, if this film would come out as a standalone film and you heard the music, you would have been blown away. So I don't really want to hold that against it, but just something to keep an eye out if you haven't seen it yet and you're going to see it. That'd be interesting. I'd also like to know what you guys think of the film in the comments below. Try to keep it spoiler free for the people that haven't seen it yet, please. But yeah, it was an interesting film, and it was, for me, another thing I want to talk about is like the merchandise thing. One thing that does disappoint me with Disney, and whether it's Baby Yoda or whether it's BB-8, I've got BB-8 handy, I have. Whether it's this guy, which they brought out just to sell merch, or if it's this guy who they brought out just to sell the same merch but in black. Basically or if it's Stormtroopers, I could get 20 things off my Star Wars shelf here to demonstrate that. But I know Star Wars has always been a merch-heavy franchise. It always has been, it always will be. It's one of the reasons the franchise was so successful. But for me, there's a few characters that serve no purpose other than let's make some more merch. And for me, there's at least probably 4, 5 new, probably 5 new characters, I would say, who they've just made. They don't add nothing really to the story. They're just there to sell a little bit of plastic to kids and big kids like me, who will buy it undoubtedly. There's some other major spoilers which I think they only did to sell merch, and I don't want to go through them because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, they just did this to sell some merch and ruin it for you, because there is a few things that I personally think were just aimed at selling merch, and I think it's a bit tacky almost. If it doesn't add to the storytelling, don't put it in, especially when there's a lot of things they maybe skipped over in the last film. Obviously, I know The Last Jedi was directed by not by JJ. JJ Abrams tries to like fix everything, and he does do a good job of that, like I said at the start. But for me, there's a lot of just merch, just like stuff. They do stuff they don't need to do just to stick another bit of plastic out there, and that annoys me a bit, because as someone that collects this tat, right, and buys this tat no matter what they make, whether it's a little BB-8 bobblehead like this, but his head isn't actually very bobbly, I need to fix him. There's like a little bitty twist, but he's supposed to be a bobblehead. BB-9E works. If it's just a bobblehead like this or whatever, I just feel a bit robbed. And I know you don't have to buy it, and I know people would be like, well, you don't have to buy it, but if they make, do you know what I mean? If they make something that I collect already, like the ships, that I collect the ships, and there's new ships which are pointless just to sell a bit more merch, and that annoys me. And there's new other bits which they make just to sell more merch, and it just, especially when it's stuff I already collect, because I'm like quite a completionist collector sometimes, and I like to have everything. Like, for example, this lightsaber here, the Anakin Skywalker one, known as the Grufflex, I've got like 4 different ones of these because I want to have them all. I want to have every version of it. I've got 3 different versions of Obi-Wan's saber which are all the same. Like, it's the same saber 3 times because I want to have everything. And when Disney bring out pointless characters just to sell me more crap, it frustrates me a bit, because it's like, oh yeah, we're just bringing that out. Just get your wallet out, son. Get your wallet out. And even in the foyer, you're in the foyer of the cinema, and there's like all these Star Wars merch cups, and you're thinking, I really want one, but if I buy one, I then want the other 5. How do I choose between like R2-D2 and like Kylo Ren and like Stormtroopers and like there was Sith Troopers, which are the new ones? But why make so much merch? I love it, but it kills me as well, because like I want to have it all. I want to have it literally all. It's like with my Funko Pops. I've only got 1 Star Wars Funko Pop right now, but there's at least 30 I want, at least. And that's before they add all these different ones from the new film. Like I've got BB-8, and there's like, for example, there's a spoiler. No, I'm not gonna say it because it'll be a spoiler. But there's something to do with BB-8, right? And when you watch the film, you'll instantly go, okay, that's just to sell another piece of merch, and that's how I see it. So I love the film. I hate Disney's money grabbing attitude, which they've had with every franchise they've ever bought, whether it's Marvel, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's, what other stuff have they bought? They bought everything. Simpsons, everything they own is money grabbing basically, and that does frustrate me. But back to Star Wars, the film's fantastic, and I genuinely really enjoyed it. I have toyed with what to give this out of 10 so much. I was looking at a survey with a friend, and it was out of 5. So you had to rate the film out of 5. He gave it 3 out of 5, and I sit somewhere between 3 out of 5 and 4 out of 5, but that's somewhere between 6 out of 10 and 8 out of 10, and I don't know where. Do I just like get a saber and split the difference? 6, 8, 7, or do I go like this way and give it a 6. Or do I... Okay, that saber's not working. Well, that ruined that shot. Why is that not working? The battery's died in that one. Or do I go this way and give it an 8 with my broken saber? This hadn't had new batteries in for like a year, so that's why. But do I give it an 8 and go that way with... Oh... If it was a standalone film, I don't know what I would give it, and this is what I'm struggling with so much, and this is why it's probably the hardest review I've ever done. This is why it's one of the longest reviews I've ever done. Because I have bias from this guy, and from these guys on the shelf, and especially from Qui Gon. I love Star Wars so much, and I think some people would rate the film worse because they love Star Wars, and this doesn't maybe pander to them as much as it could have. But I like the fact it didn't pander. But then, do I give this a good mark because it's what my heart felt? Or do I give it a lower mark because of my head? Because my head is saying it's a 5 or a 6 out of 10. But then my heart is saying it's Star Wars, give it an 8 or a 9. So, is it heart or head? I don't know. What would Qui Gon do? What would this guy do, guys? I'm focusing on him, but what would he do? What would you give it, Qui-Gon? Let's get him an 8. Fuck it. Yeah. I looked at the Star Wars shelf and I thought, look, I love all that stuff on that shelf. There's Star Wars cross Harry Potter, and you've got Hagrid and some Mystery Minis, but the rest of it is all Star Wars Lego and stuff. I've done a tour of my shelves if anyone wants to go back and watch that. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 on the basis that it made me very happy. And I liked the way it sewed the saga up. Now, it didn't sew up the saga and finish it in the way I wanted it to. And it didn't... I don't want to give it a bad mark because I didn't get what I wanted. But yeah, what I wanted to happen didn't happen, and because of that, I don't want to mark it down. So it's an 8 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. I would love anything that was ever made with Star Wars on there, whether it's Rebels, the Clone Wars, whether it's even, you know, The Last Jedi, I probably would have given a 7 out of 10 anyway, because I enjoyed it, and I enjoy the saber battles more than anything. For me, that's always been the bit of Star Wars that I love, and this film had some of the best saber battles, so I think that redeems it somewhat. It had some of the most emotional moments in the whole saga, and yeah, I just feel that the combination of the emotion and that sort of finesse of it, it deserves a good mark. And also, I think it also deserves a good mark because it wasn't an easy job to make this film after what they did in The Force Awakens, and that wasn't, not The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. After The Last Jedi, Abrams, is it Abrams or Abrahams? I don't know. JJ, my boy JJ, had a fucking difficult job, right? He had a really, really difficult job to try and correct what was done in there, which changed the course of the story from what he'd planned. And for me, it deserves an 8 out of 10 just because of how well he's corrected it as well. I think we need to bear that in mind because that wasn't his fault. And personally, I think, another thing I'll do is what I say quickly before we end this, and maybe we'll do another video with spoilers and everything, and we talk about all my opinions. It'll probably be a long one. Personally, I think that if they do another trilogy instead of just a load of standalone films, it needs the same director and writer for all three, and that's something that I think George Lucas got right with the others, that he had control of everything. He didn't let, because it had consistency. And okay, you didn't like some of the stuff that he did, But like the midichlorians, I'm looking at you again, Qui Gon. But for me, it was consistent because it was the same director and writer. So I think that's what needs to happen in the next trilogy. If they do a trilogy, whether it's a prequel, whether it's a sequel, whatever they do, it needs to have the same person overseeing it, basically. And yeah, thank you all for watching this. I know it's been a really long review, so if you've got this far, well done. I hope you enjoy it if you haven't seen it already. If you have seen it already, let me know what you think in the comments down below without spoilers, because I don't want to ruin it for people, because it's a big thing, and it's a big part of people's lives. Like, when you ruin a new film, it's fine. It's not really a big deal. But when you ruin a new Star Wars film, you've got people that have been invested in this since the 70s. Do you know what I mean? You've got people that have been invested in this for 40 years. Like, for me, I've been invested in this since I saw The Phantom Menace as a 4-year-old kid. So 20 years I've been invested in this. So if you spoil it for someone, you're spoiling something they've cared about for 20 years, 40 years maybe. So that's why spoiling it makes you a dick. So don't spoil it down below, but do let me know what you think. And I will see you real soon. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. If you've enjoyed that, you can click up here and you can watch another video of mine. Or if you really love it, if you really, really love it, or even if you just like it a little bit, go down here and subscribe to the channel. It means you'll never ever miss what is coming up real soon.